By the way, guys, before we start, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please make sure that you do so because it helps out this entire thing a ton. So if you want to see more videos, if you want to see more deck techs, more behind the scenes of the team, give the channel a subscribe. It would mean a lot to us. Thank you. Hey everyone, Carl here. Welcome to our YouTube channel here at Team Unbox for Flesh and Blood. Just wanted to quickly check in with you. I recently played at the ProQuest here in Manila, Philippines. I was able to get 8090 playing Kayo, the one-armed brute, armed and dangerous guy. And the full deck list can be found down below. It's listed, it's in Fabry, you can check it out. Basically, the main difference or the bigger changes compared to traditional or more common KO lists is that number one, I reduced the number of agile windups to 3. I only run 3 blues. And I swapped out Enlightened Strike for yellow wild rides to be able to get more go-against, wherein when you do Blood Rush Bellow, you get more bang for your buck. So it was kind of like sacrificing the versatility of having Enlightened Strike to be able to get more out of our Blood Rush turns with KO. Now, apart from that, everything else kind of the same. You have the same package, Cast Bones, you have your Bear Fangs, Send Packing, Command and Conquer, all that good stuff. Everything is there. Additional changes, I had Assault and Battery Red in the sideboard, primarily to bring in with Prism, because Prism has been getting popular here in Manila. In fact, in the last ProQuest that I wasn't able to play in, I heard there were like 7-8 Prisms out of a field of 41, and one of the Prisms even went all the way up to the finals. Congratulations to Earl for reaching the finals with Prism. Shout out to Dodge for winning the entire thing. So anyway, so going back to the deck, so those are kind of like the big changes. I'll quickly go over the matchups. Round 1, I faced a Dory Hatchet. In this matchup, when it comes to warriors, it really boils down to figuring out where do you get your extra value or how do you become a fair deck. Because they block really well and they're able to dish out so much damage even with just 2 cards in hand, especially if they do take it on the chin and they generate that agility token. It's so annoying. So in my head, you have to be, one, you have to side in Cast Bones because that's one way to be able to leak damage significantly. You have to make the most out of your Blood Rush turns. I do not do like half-baked Blood Rush wherein you have 3 cards, 4 cards, you don't have a Tunic up. As much as possible, you would want to have the Tunic up and get in a Claw, maybe a go-again attack such as a Wild Ride, and maybe a Bear Fangs or Swing Big to finish it off. Because that way, the math really becomes good in your favor, despite them being able to block well. Also, you want to finish it early, because the longer the game goes, the more value they get out of Valiant Dynamos. And lastly, this matchup is where I am not afraid to do scabs if I find that there are a lot of extra damage that can be dealt, primarily because it's a really unfair source of advantage for you if you're able to roll like a 4, 5, or 6. So won my first match. Second match was with Kayo. This one, I think I just high rolled him. So yeah, I won that one. Third match was with Levia. Same scenario. I had more Blood Rush turns. I had a better draw. I think I was able to do I think this was the match where I did my opening hand. I went first. I'm not sure if this was this match or the one against Prism, but I believe I had like a mighty wind up, agile wind up on turn 0. So it turned out if you discard all of that, you have like 3 might tokens, 1 agility token. It's kind of like a mini turn 0 Cast Bones, which is still good. So anyway, won the match against Levia. The Katsu match was very close. This was round 4. Was lucky enough to be able to eke out the victory there. Round 5 versus Prism. This is where it really boils down to how good you are with rolling scabs. Because there are situations where you really need to roll it, primarily because they're trying to set up board. So if you don't roll scabs and you don't have go again, you cannot hit them and then take out an aura or take out 2 auras that demand your immediate attention, kind of like Genesis, Merciful Retribution, and all that stuff. But I was able to beat Prism. Round 6 was against Kasai. Now, this is one of the harder matchups because unlike Dory, wherein there's no significant on-hit, this, if you let them accumulate either gold or copper, it can be disastrous for you, especially copper. Now, my game plan into Kasai is blocking only when I need to, blocking during the on-hit turns, And if they're starting to accumulate copper, and I know that the blood on their hands is still a bit far off, maybe because they pitched it, or I saw one or two being blocked, I step on the gas pedal immediately and just go face. Because I know that the moment they're able to get blood in their hands, it's kind of over. So if you get the feel that it's still a bit, they have the copper, you weren't able to block it, that would be a good time to risk a little bit on scabs, go more aggressive to be able to get more damage in, and just keep their head back to the wall. So won that one. Semifinals was with a teammate who had to go. So fortunately for me, I was able to get the win. Quarterfinals was with another teammate, Justin Koo, who was on Azalea. This was the worst, the best high roll I've ever had against any single person. I think my opening hand was Agile Wind Up, Mighty Wind Up, Cast Bones, and another Cast Bones. So I went first. I threw both wind ups, did the Cast Bones. It revealed 2 Blood Rush Velos out of the next 6 cards, which was crazy, because when I drew my next 4, I only had 1 Blood Rush, which allowed me to do the Blood Rush, draw another Blood Rush, do a double Blood Rush, and man, it was just crazy. It was insane. And then when he was down to like 1 or 2, I was like thinking to myself, well, it would be nice to draw a Reckless Swing just to end things, and I just drew a Reckless Swing, which kind of ended things. Last match, I split it with the Dory man, our local hatchet man, Andre C. He's the guy who went 9-0 with Olympia. He's a good friend, and it would be nice to be able to reward both of us for having such a good run. So I ended up splitting it with him. So yeah, that's pretty much what the tournament was for me. For the Pro Quest that I was able to win. I also did another Pro Quest where I did another split. That was with Justin a couple of, I think it was the week before. Played Kayo as well. The big difference with that list was that I had Enlightened Strike there, where in this one, I just got rid of it and went with Yellow Wild Ride instead. So yeah, generally that's the deck. It's really maximizing your turns with Blood Rush. It's being able to do as many go-agains as possible if you need to without being too overboard. The thing with Agile Wind-Up is when you discard it to get agility, I just feel that you don't get as much value. Versus, for example, I run 5 Clash with Agilities with matchups against Warriors, wherein if you discard it, it's kind of, you're still getting value out of it because you're blocking 3. You know what I mean? So it just felt better to run more clashes with Clash with Agilities versus your typical Agile Wind-Up. So by the way, also one more thing to note, for the sideboard plan, if you need to block, just remove majority of the non-blocks, slide in all the blocks. You have the Assault and Batteries, you have the 5 Clash with Agilities, and the Clash with Agility unlocks the total value that you get with Runner, which just, makes everything so much better, especially if you're able to chain them. So general thoughts on Kayo before we end. I truly believe it is still one of the best decks in the format today and can put up a really great fight against Prism. It can do well against most of the field. The notable hard matchups would primarily be Warriors and maybe Katsu to some extent. But it is not like ridiculously auto-lose or totally unfavored, especially if you play it smart. So if you're able to get value from your Blood Rush turns, if you're able to get value from Cast Bones, if you're able to get value with Clash from Agility, and you're able to get value with Scabs against Warriors, I really think it puts you on a 50-50 more than what people say is like a 60-40 or 40-60 in their favor, which makes it so much better in my opinion. Makes the deck so much better overall. And that's why I really love playing the deck. And if you are looking to play one more Pro Quest this weekend or a couple more Pro Quests, you might want to give Kayo a shot. One more thing about it, by the way. The thing I love about Kayo is even if you play 9 rounds, at the end of 9 rounds, you're still like, okay, is there anything more? You're still kind of pumped. You're not as tired, mentally exhausted. I remember playing Dromai for the same amount of rounds. Already in like round 6, round 7, I'm like, oh my god, when will this end? Because you just win so slowly, inch by inch, setting up board, as opposed to KO where you just go for it, right? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video. We'll try to upload more. We've been on a bit of a hiatus here on YouTube, primarily because we've been putting in a lot of work and effort in ProQuest, and we've been preparing for Nats. And super excited for the upcoming new set. Well, a lot of us are actually traveling to Japan for the world premiere and hope to see you guys there. So yeah, That's it for today. Hope you're all doing good. Bye.